Hi boys and girls, today I thought I'd do a video to explain about helicopter stories, which is something that we use when we're at school. And we really enjoy scribing stories for the children in their own special book and then having a chance on a Friday to act out their stories. Helicopter stories is a really great way of children developing their understanding of story language and becoming storytellers. We're all storytellers in our own right, and it's a really great way of celebrating children as storytellers. There's a few key points, which is why I wanted to film a video today to explain, and I'll do a tapestry upload with the key points as well. I've got my laptop here so that I don't forget any key points too, so if I keep looking down, that's what I'm doing. So helicopter stories is a storytelling technique, and it's a really simple approach, and it was based on the work by Vivian Gussin-Paley, if anyone's interested in reading a bit more about it. And all it involves really is scribing a story, a child's story, word for word, and then setting aside some time to act it out. There are a couple of really key points that make it really successful, which I'm going to outline too at the moment. So, number one, listening to your child's story. It's possible that your child's idea of a story is going to really test your idea of what a story is. So early stories for children can be as simple as a couple of words, or it might be a few simple sentences, or it might be a list. When we first start doing it at school, quite often it's a mishmash of all the stories that they're familiar with. Quite often it's centred around something that they're really interested in. So we had a lot of stories around unicorns or football. We had a couple of stories where it was all Disney princesses. And when we were doing traditional tales, we had a lot of stories where they were sort of all brought in together. And that is absolutely fine. We say to the children, use ideas that you know already from stories that are familiar to you. So the first step is listening to your child's story. And just for children to grow into confident storytellers, they need to be able to tell their stories freely without any interruptions. And that is a really important point as well. So as well as writing their story word for word, even if it's grammatically incorrect, allowing them to just tell you their story without any interruptions. I know it's really tricky to not want to ask questions or to put your own thoughts and ideas in to try and improve their story, but over time their story will improve. And this is all about giving them the confidence to believe that they are storytellers. So trust that whatever they say is their story, and for the children it's important that they can trust you that what they tell you will be written down word for word. So try not to interrupt. Don't ask questions. It's really tempting to ask questions, but try not to do this. Just listen, hear each sentence and write it down exactly as it's said. Let it be their story, word for word. And later on, if you want to, as it's helicopters at home, you can write your own story too, and then maybe act that out with your children. So as well as them having their helicopter storybook, you could have your helicopter storybook, and that way they will be listening to really high quality stories, and also seeing that grown-ups have got stories to tell as well. Or you could ask your child if they would like to scribe their story at home. If you think that they're up to it, even if they're just mark making to begin with, ask them if they'd like to scribe their story too. Doesn't matter if it's emergent writing or they can't spell some of the words. Between the two of you, when you act it out, you will remember what it said. So the next key point I've already said is write your child's words exactly. Try to capture your child's way of speaking. They may make grammatical mistakes, but don't correct them during the storytelling. You can model the correct language any other time, but let helicopter at home time be about creativity and just celebrating your child's unique voice. When we work in the classroom, the paper that we use is A5, so we tend to have like little notebooks. At home, you might have little notebooks lying around. I know I've got loads for my own children, and it's quite nice, like if it's a blank front cover, or you could stick a front cover on, then they can decorate their helicopter story little book. If you don't have that, that's fine. You can just fold some paper in half, and again they can decorate the front, put their name on, and we have a rule that their story can only fill one page, and the reason being is you'll be there forever writing their story, and acting out would take a very, very, very long time, so we just stick to one page, and the children are used to that expectation that when you get to the bottom of the page the story needs to have finished, and it just encourages them to have a little bit of thought as well with their helicopter story. So yeah, as I've said, your child might like to design the cover. Then the next step is making a stage. So this can be really simple. Like when I've done helicopter stories at home, we've just had the lounge area and we've just marked it out like with cushions around the edge or blankets around the edge. So just think about where you want the story to be acted out. In the classroom we use a masking tape stage, and at home you might want to define that area on the carpet. Or maybe your stories take place around the whole of a room, moving up and down the hall, going up the stairs, back down the stairs, it's up to you. But together you could come up with some rules about your stage. Where should the stage be? If they've been doing helicopter stories at school, they might start looking for masking tape, but you don't need it. Your acting area can be in front of your settee, in the corner of your kitchen, or it can be in your garden. It can be absolutely anywhere, but come up with the rules together. And then finally, the fun part, act it out. Have lots of fun acting out. And when you're acting out a story, it's important to let your child be the lead. They are the storytelling experts, and they can show you how they want their story acted out. Ask them which character they'd like to be, and then find out which character they would like you to play. At school, the adults don't usually join in when acting out, but at home the rules can be different. And the reason we don't join in at school is because we've got all of the children that are joining in for them. So helicopter stories at home can be a really great opportunity for families to act in stories together. Other siblings can join in, each taking on different roles. Or if there's only two of you, the adult can move seamlessly from being Mummy Lion to the tree or the butterfly